Guy and I were high school sweethearts, small town Minnesota. We got married right out of high school, and about our 10th anniversary, he was diagnosed with MS. It was a pretty rapid progression. Within a year already, he was in a wheelchair. We had 2 small boys, and his goal was to see his boys grow up. As the nurse, I dedicated myself to keeping him at home as long as I could. And you get to the point where when you've done all you can do, you've done all you can do. So that's when we sought out Living Well.
Tell me a little bit about Guy and what made him so special to the house.
I'm gonna need a minute. Guy had quite a personality. He was very quick-witted and sarcastic. He was an avid Vikings fan. If you came in and you were a fan of some other team, you were not really welcome into his room. He might tolerate you, but he wasn't a big fan of it. He was quite a character.
Guy was not a real social person, so I would say he spent the majority of his time in his room. But the door was open and it was right off the dining room, so people would come in and banter with him, staff or other residents. And there was Michael, who is a huge Chicago Bears fan. And there was Don, who's another sports fan. And Don was younger. He had cerebral palsy. And so Guy kind of took him under his wing. And Don would call Guy boss, and Guy would call Don punk. And so it was kind of like a father-son relationship that he developed there, and would give him all kinds of suggestions and grief over his team and that type of thing. You just kind of grew to love him. You never knew what was coming out of his mouth. Might have been good, might have been bad, but he made friends, and he valued those friendships, and he valued family, both employees as well as the other residents became a family there over the course of 9 years. So in February of 22, we had made the decision to move Guy onto hospice. So he was allowed to stay right at Living Well, and they brought in chaplains and spiritual care and music therapy, which were all very comforting, really, to both of us. Other residents started coming in and visiting with Guy, and even Don goes, "Can I go in and see Guy one more time?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he just, again, "Hey, boss, I'm going to miss ya." And I mean, that just, makes me tear even now that there was that relationship with other people that he lived with. I just feel strongly about how special they made him feel, and that he was truly a part of Living Well.
To have to fill a spot that somebody has left open, it's not like we're replacing that person, because you can't. Here we now have the opportunity to provide care to somebody new and to provide a home for somebody new. So this person's time with us is over, and now we have an opportunity to share love with somebody new. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, we have a lot of tears, but we have a lot of joy.
Welcoming someone into the Living Well community is probably one of the most important processes that we have as an organization. For anybody who really understands our services and understands Living Well, you know how important connections and relationships are to who we are. It's the fabric that we're made of, I would say. As we're considering someone new coming into our services, it's our job to really make sure that there is potential for relationships and connection. There's potential for skill growth and development. There's potential for, of course, everyone to have their needs met. Do they have a roommate that they can go to a game with? Might they find a show that they enjoy watching together? We look for those types of things too. It really is important that we don't just do one meet and greet or one dinner and say, yep, this is perfect. We really need to study it and really make sure that the potential for relationships and connection is there.
It starts with a phone call, usually, or an email, where a person just talks about what they're looking for in services. And then the process starts from there. If we think that we have some options, we try to tour people through homes, even many times it starts with homes where we don't even have openings. It's just like, come and see if this feels right to you. Sit down, have a meal. Just hang out. Does it feel like a place where you think you and your loved one would feel comfortable, would feel welcome? And since every situation is so different, you really need to invest this time. We work super hard to balance the needs of both the new person and the people who live there, and that takes time. You can't force that.
Obviously, we need to learn about their physical needs and their support needs and their care needs and things like that. But that's only one part of the person's needs. What type of person are they? Are they outgoing? Do they have a lot of social interests? Would they rather stay at home? Are they a homebody? It's sort of like playing matchmaker. And I say it's like part matchmaker, part real estate agent, because when I do these tours, I'll be like, oh, and this is our closet, and here is our second bathroom. This is the walkout patio. But I also want people to really feel comfortable about where they're going to be going. I want them to understand if it's a right fit for them. And then I want the people who already call this house a home to, know who might be coming in, because we want to be sure it's a good fit for everybody, every which way.
For us at Living Well, it takes us a little over 100 days to fill an open bed when we have one. And I think oftentimes people think of the notion of a waiting list or people who have reached out, and we sort of collect names, and when we have an opening, we plug in the next person. And that's just simply not how we do it, and really not how it can or should be done in our work. As we're welcoming people into our homes, or even when we're informing families that we might not be the right provider at this time, almost always that surrounds relationships, connection, and our ability to balance needs. We, of course, aim to build long-term relationships within a home, but then we also look for our ability as a provider to meet changing needs. It's a tremendous honor for us, but also a tremendous responsibility to provide a home for people for truly a lifetime.
My name is Julie Kilpatrick. I'm the mother of John Heselton, and he lives at the Indale House with Living Well. My son John is 41, and he loves life. He likes being engaged with life. He loves experiences and history and people. He loves working out. He loves going places, and he's just a great guy. So John's our newest person that moved into Indale. It'll be a year in July. There's 5 people that live at Indale. There's Michael, Don, John, Sam, and Haley. They all like to interact and socialize. We have a lot of game nights, trivia's big at Indale. They like to compete kind of amongst each other. So you can see how they just appreciate each other's personalities. What's really nice to have with a home for John is accessibility, staffing levels that are adequate for care, roommates that are compatible. They also had bike trails, and the home was modern, spacious, built for people who need wheelchair assistance. So it was a really good fit. John's birthday was just recently, and he wanted to plan something at the house. We talked about what type of cake he liked, what was going to go with it, whether it was the beverage or the meal. He was very adamant that he wanted to treat the house and order pizza. And he went around and asked the other housemates what pizza they liked. He wanted to make sure that he made, the best choice that everybody would enjoy. And then also, as the party was happening, and if there was any leftovers, he let other staff know that there was leftovers to enjoy. And it was his treat, even though it was his birthday.
Everyone deserves safety and connection and be able to rest and have a home that's comfortable and safe. I feel very lucky that this place opened up for John because I'm aware that there aren't necessarily accessible places and safe places in our community for people with disabilities. As a person that has cared for him a long time, I can totally trust actually with Indale, that he's in good hands.
There are so many threats and so many changes in our world right now, and specifically in disability services. Our state budgets look worse than we've seen them, and federal cuts are looming, even though we have no idea what that's going to look like. And it really is funding that makes this process possible. Without it, we have to fill our beds faster. Without better funding, we have to fill them faster. We can't afford to have openings last 90, 100, 120 days, because those are days that we're not paid for as an organization. And so we do need to balance the realities of our world with what we know is right for the folks that we serve. But with resources sort of being challenged more and more every day, it's critically important that we have people's engagement, their care about what we do, their support of our mission, and their voice in advocacy.
It's important to families to know that in most cases, they're not just looking for a place for their loved one for now. They're looking for a place where their loved one can live and become part of a family when they are no longer able to support them. You just want everybody to come into it with eyes open. It's not just a little thing. It's not, I'm signing a lease for 6 months and I'm gonna maybe room with a new roommate. It's not like that. It's really about taking the time to make sure that everybody's comfortable in the sense that this could be something that could work for everybody for a long time.
Tell me a little bit about home and what that means to you.
Home to me is a place with a sense of belonging. It's a sense of the ability to sort of let your shoulders drop, to be yourself, to not have to put on for the rest of the world. I think it's a place where I can be my best and pursue my best as well, knowing that none of us are finished or done.
For me, it's about family. It's about relationships. It's about being together. It's about having shared experiences and living and learning together.
When I think of home, I recall many family memories, both within my family as well as my in-laws, Guy's family, and just playing cards, having time that we just spend with each other.
I think making a house a home is making it comfortable for people, making it welcoming, making it, it's their home and you're just a part of it.
At Living Well, we really do focus on relationships and service for a lifetime. We're not just looking at what do you need today, what were your needs yesterday. That's not where we're at. We're not even all that focused on tomorrow or next week. We're far more focused on where you're going to be in 10 years, where do you want to be in 10 years, and how can we help you get there? Can we? It's that type of a focus. We want to be partners in life. We want to be a resource, and we want to be that safety net and that support for folks and their families throughout their life.